Welcome to the Toonami Squad podcast sessions, episode 4, Expansion X, and literally anything else.
Hello, how's it going? Welcome to Toonami Squad podcast sessions, episode 4. I am your host, Eric Casey, also known as eRockstar5 on Twitter.
I am JMB A.K.A. The Boss. I'm the founder of Toonami Squad. You can follow me on Twitter at JMB_70056.
So, I write shit.
I am Mr. Shadow on Twitter, and I just mostly fool around.
I'm Trips, and I'm the artist, or one of the artists for Toonami Squad. I haven't made much recently, but expect something soon.
He's badass.
We haven't had him on since the Sunny Straight interview?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gang's all back together.
Yeah, nice
wait.
home.
And our fandom, I do shit.
Yeah, fool around
Yeah.
with me.
Pretty much.
Well,
It's been a long time.
yeah, it's been a while since that.
Yep.
The Sunday-
back in town, boys are back in town.
So, start off with the first topic, guys.
Yeah,
Hunter x Hunter, I believe.
it's Hunter. I used to call it
Right.
Hunter x Hunter, but
sounds
apparently
cool.
the right way to say it is Hunter, which
I
makes
like
me
that.
wonder why the hell they even bothered with the Hunter, with the X in the Hunter.
Oh, dude, they use that to separate the titles, like, of every episode. It's like blank X, blank kind of thing, so... I like
thought
Hunter
that had
x
something to do with space, like Jason X.
Jason X DeMarco.
So,
Get out of here, Phantom, with that. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So Hunter Hunter,
yeah, so, who wants to go first? Who's got
I
either
guess I can
throw
go
it in.
first.
Yeah.
So I watched a little bit of the sub, like the first 2 episodes. I don't think I began episode 3. If I did, I may have started it early. But past that, I have not seen much of Hunter x Hunter.
Myself, I too have only watched episodes really 1 and 2, subbed, and I kind of fell off of it because I guess it just didn't catch my interest or something.
It starts
I think it was just I was just busy at the time too. But yeah, but from what I've seen so far, I like the dub. It's entertaining. It does keep my interest this time around. Overall, I like where it's going so far. I really like the animation. The animation's really beautifully done, I think.
Yeah, one thing I have to say was, like, the dub is decent so far, but I think later down the road it'll become a great dub. Because right now, for long-running shonens, I've noticed this, is that they start off with, like, voice actors kind of getting into the roles, and then later down the line, they finally become, they understand the character fully.
They're able to get the character out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. I could see
Yeah, because I think this dub's starting out all right. I think it needs some improvement here and there, but because I think, like, one of my biggest worries was Erica Mendez is gone. She's a great actress, but I was worried that she was going to be doing her Aladdin voice. Thankfully, she does not. She does something completely different from Aladdin, which is great.
I like the comedy in Hunter x Hunter. I think it's a funny show.
It has its moments of hilarious times, but so far, with 4 episodes currently airing, with episode 5 on its way, it feels generic, like generic shonen. And I know people kind of like say that later down the road it becomes very dark, very different from other shonen anime. But right now, it's like, I've seen this before.
Am I the only one who's actually watched it very, very, very far through and subbed? Because I watched it subbed. I'm almost done with it, and right now it's damn near unbearable at this point. I mean, I did start it once subbed, and I'd had the same thing done with Eric, where I kind of copped out right when they were doing the forest scene, and I was like this shit is straight stupid. And then I got back into it, and in about 2 to 3 episodes from where we are, It actually, once they get on the airship, that's when everything changes and you see basically the badassness of each character. But the dub right now, I mean, the worst thing is the Krapika, that how they pronounce like their names. Like Krapka, further on, he is a boss. Like this man is a deadly son of a gun. Like he is straight up deadly. And the thing is, I don't know why. Like if you watch the sub, they're masculine. I mean, yes, they are children. You know, it's pointed out, but they have masculine undertones. They're not very feminine whatsoever. So, and they're not high pitched either. So I don't get why. And sometimes in Japanese animes, they have a very high pitched character, and it's damn near unbearable for the sub. But in the dub, there's no reason why the three main characters should be voiced by females. Like, it's not anything against the voice actors. I kind of love the voice actors, but the director, you should at least try to get it. So, I mean, I just see further on. I think there's going to be some parts where it's gonna have probably the Naruto kind of feel of a female doing the main character of Naruto.
Well, I think females are easier. I mean, the characters are. Let's just face it. They're kids.
Yeah, slash teenagers.
And not to sound sexist or anything like that, but females do tend to sound. Their voices tend to sound more kid-like.
It's the Shakespearean kind of thing where
you
would cast a female in a young kid's kind of role, but the thing is though, like they didn't need to. Like I think they did not put enough effort into casting, and it's kind of a cop-out kind of thing where we're not going to find a perfect match. We already have our match. Let's go with it, kind of thing. Where it's like don't go to the good like store, like good restaurant, because we got an okay one down the street and the good one's 5 miles away.
Is this the first English dub of Hunter x Hunter, or
there is an old one? There was a one done by I believe Blue Waters for the '98 Hunter x Hunter series.
Okay.
It was received terribly. It is a terrible dub. I've listened to it. I can vouch for that.
Yeah,
okay. Because I was just wondering, like, comparing dubs, was it?
Well, I mean, like, even
voice actors and stuff like that.
Well, even from like comparing like Hunter x Hunter's dub to other like long-running shonen dub, I think so far it's probably one of the better dubs airing on Toonami right now.
Okay.
The problem I have with the previous dub of the old Hunter x Hunter was, like, in the Sunny Straight kind of interview that we kind of went over how the dubbing process has dramatically changed, and it's evolved to a very, very high standard. That, before then they kind of said, okay, they're not very sophisticated fans, they'll take what they get, and Inuyasha was kind of the pinnacle of what kind of we got back then. Now they put a lot more effort into it, but the thing is, this arc right now is probably by far the shittiest arc possible. They're trying to get all the fans to know the characters.
I mean, I haven't watched any of Hunter x Hunter besides what I've seen on Toonami so far. And like what Schmollis and I, or my friend that I watched Toonami with, pretty much like the vibe he's straight getting from these first episode is the tuning exams from Naruto.
Yeah,
exactly.
I got this.
I also got that vibe as well.
Yeah.
In the evolution type of, they have their conflict and they have to face their fears. I mean, that kind of thing where it's kind of the same feel of chucking kids into the forest and see if they come back alive.
What came first? Was it Naruto or Hunter x Hunter?
Hunter x Hunter came first.
Naruto came out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, 1994. It came out in Japan. 1996. It came out here. So yeah, it was a long time.
I definitely agree with you there, though. Like, I was getting the same vibes, too. But I'm looking at, like, well, at least they're taking care of this now instead of them, a quarter way through the series, like Naruto
handled by, like, any other studio, they would have, like, already gone to filler.
Yeah. Oh, I think though that Trip made a great kind of parallel to Naruto, because I can see the similarities now just with that reference to the characters in Naruto, kind of the darkish kind of, and then the naive, innocent like Naruto, and then
the character who wants revenge.
Yeah.
I actually like all these characters more than Naruto, so...
Yes, I second that, definitely.
Hunter x Hunter already has one in my book.
The thing though that I think people are struggling with though, it has a slow start. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but personally, I like this show a lot. I'm on, I think, episode like 138, and
Almost done. Jesus.
yeah, I copped out on the 4th episode the first time I ran it. And the only thing that made me go back was Toonami. So if you guys can hang in, I'm telling you, right when it gets to the airship scene, it's gonna blow. Like basically, I don't want to give much away, but there's the the Hunter exam is not an actual. It's kind of like a pre-test, kind of like you have PSATs and then you have the SATs.
Okay.
It has kind of a thing where there's more to be actually. Yeah, there's more that this actually means, and the way that it starts right after the Hunter exam, it becomes a fantastic show. No fillers, all canon.
I have heard a lot about a certain arc that Toonami will be getting to later down the line called the Chimera Ant
Oh
arc.
god, oh the last arc. This is the longest arc. Oh my god.
Yeah, I heard a lot. I don't know much about it, but I heard from people that it gets really, really dark at that point.
Dude,
Me? I haven't heard a single thing about it.
It gets dark right after the Hunter exams. It doesn't get as dark, but it kind of goes on a thing where there's death, there's dying, there's
Nice.
yeah. I mean, it kind of goes towards a kill vibe. Not people dying around, but there's brutality. There's no kind of thing. And you guys, what is your guys' opinion on that clown guy that throws cards? Personally, I hate the shit out of him. How he gets like,
It seems weird.
dude, he gets like a
I really don't know much about.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
It,
It
it's
looks
kind
like
of hard.
if he was a clown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what,
it's,
what do you
it's
guys?
kind of hard
Goes
for us to
Kevin.
give
I mean-
like a little preview thing. You know, for me, it's hard for me to get, to kind of give my opinion on him, since all I've seen is seen him throw his cards at the examiner for 1 second. I'm like, oh, that's just a typical anime villain doing anime villain things.
Yeah.
That's really all I got from him so far.
What about you, Trip? What was your take on it? Because
I mean, like, I get the vibe that he's kind of evil, but I think he's really not as all bad as he's supposed to be. Like, he's an experienced guy, and I think he just knows more. He's just a little stern.
Yeah, but he tried killing an examiner too. So.
Yeah, but didn't he say, like, oh, who's gonna block it or whatever?
Well, didn't he do it so I guess the examiner could catch the cards and throw it back at the guy who, impersonating him?
You said in
or
the show,
Yeah.
he was trying to kill an examiner who tried failing him.
Oh.
I guess that's self-defense, but yeah, that's a good point.
That's the thing, like, it's our first introduction of him, so it's kind of hard for us to kind of talk about him when we have such a limited understanding of him so far,
Yeah, I understand that.
Maybe next episode.
What I got from him was, I mean, it's a ballsy move. I mean, these are freaking hunters, and these are kind of like prospects. I mean, it's kind of like the Naruto thing. Great example. It's like them trying to mess up Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, "You serious?" Like, and so I mean, the
but
next.
then again, though, Kakashi encouraged it though too. That was part of the
Yeah, but
whatever.
Yeah, that's a bad example. But the problem I have with the next few episodes, which please tune in and please get through them, they're still terrible. I mean, more about a bonding kind of thing. It's the canon process of familiarizing the characters with each other, forming that kind of relationship and chemistry of kind of like the first few episodes with Krapka and Leorio, how they
I do have to say, I do feel kind of underwhelmed by it. Like, I guess I kind of was going in, like, expecting it, because I've heard, like, a lot of things about Hunter x Hunter. I know a lot of people like it. It's been one of the most requested shows, I know that. And so I kind of, like, went in, like, expecting it to get blown out of the water, like right away, to be fair. And it hasn't. But from what I've seen so far, I feel like this beginning part is basically just setting up the characters, setting up, their personalities, their motivations, blah 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 blah, and then the good stuff will come. I think that's what basically gone. Because really, the only thing that has kept my interest is because the characters had been so strong.
Yeah.
As weak as the plot lines for each episode have been so far, the characters and their performances is what's kept my interest. It's like I say, why I love Michiko and Hachin so much. I didn't really care that much about the story.
Exactly.
The characters is what makes it so entertaining because they're so well voice acted, and I feel like I'm getting that same kind of vibe here a little bit too with Hunter x Hunter because I do love the characters, especially the guy that kind of looks like Lupin with the glasses and this briefcase. I really liked him, especially the last episode.
He looks like what's the Trigon?
Yeah. Well,
Wolfwood?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that guy.
the thing right now though is this is probably the most high probability of dropping out because we haven't seen any action. It's basically all dialogue. It's basically all, it's basically a preview of what's going to come. So there's no action yet. They're basically telling you what hunters do, what are the benefits of doing it, knowing their motivations of becoming a hunter. I mean, if you haven't noticed, Killua and Gong probably has the most ridiculous reason. I think Killua actually laughs at him. He's like, well, I want to be a hunter. They go, why do you want to be a hunter? Oh, my dad's a hunter. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, what do you know about him? I know nothing. I just know he's a hunter. And Killua's like, what?
Do we ever see like Gon's father in the show, or at least the manga?
Yes. No, you see Gong's father. I mean, Gong's father, the thing is, he probably is the most aloof, crazy, genius, and just weird, antisocial kind of... I mean, that's what I get the vibe of him. I mean, you'll see later on of like what he sets up and everything, because the main focus of the story is that storyline. And it's kind of it goes with like Naruto with his charm factor. That he, I mean, I don't want to insult Gong, but it's kind of like like what the Ninetales said about Naruto is like idiots are easy to trust and easily liked. And Gong isn't like an idiot, but he's so naive that you can't help go with him and try to help him out. So, but
the adorable anime factor.
Yeah. I think I do like these characters so far, but I just want to see more from the show.
Yeah.
Just like as a final thoughts on Hunter x Hunter.
Well, yeah, let's actually do that. What do you guys want to actually see?
Well, like, it's what Sam said. I mean, I know it's too early to judge, but like my biggest problem with Hunter x Hunter right now is like I feel like all the characters are insanely OP. I want to know their weaknesses. Like the white-haired guy's like, I'm just down in this poison, dog. Like, yeah.
You think? Because I'm not sure. We haven't really seen much of their powers, and they kind of... That episode with the werewolves or whatever, the second episode.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name? God, I'm just gonna keep calling him Lupin because that's who he reminds me of.
I know, that's what I think of.
But that guy,
the guy?
He barely passed the second test.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And he almost wiped out during the run up the stairs in the most recent episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like we want to see more danger because a lot of the things that that they're considering to be like a big problem, like them running out of gas while running with this guy, or guessing which person's which, like the attachment to the story and getting you like invested in it and being like very suspensed in what's going on and everything hasn't done that yet because it's very trivial stuff. It's not that big a deal. Like it's just like common stuff.
Yeah, it hasn't had a real hook. I mean, the thing is, that's why I kind of warned people that the next 2 episodes are gonna be pretty shitty. I mean,
and also we don't even have like a main villain yet. Like that may have been established with the clown guy this past episode. Like there's nothing to catch your interest yet. I will admit the clown guy did that a little bit for me.
Honestly, I thought he was Kefka.
Iraq, like with long-running shonen, usually there are many different villains. Like there's not really like a whole main one antagonist. There's just like a bunch of other antagonists fighting against the main characters.
Okay.
I mean, right now there's going to be a part where they go into the airship, and that's when the basic fear factor and the next trial after the one coming up, which is just terrible. And I know you guys think I'm playing it off as like trivial. It's going to be terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. But after that, that's when you get the scheming. That's when you get the power, and you actually see an actual fight. And there's basically a huge decision making. And then after that, the third test is straight up animalistic, freaking just.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, right now you don't see much, but as it progresses towards the after this test, and once it goes to the airship, that's when you kind of see the fighting, and then after that it keeps on going towards the actual final exam.
Okay.
Once they get their license, which of course, so one of them has to get a license.
Right.
Then the next, basically it gets dark, morbid, violent, scheming, and it starts to snowball. So once you get past this, you should be good. I'm gonna stick around because I hope the voices.
I'm gonna stick around too, I think.
I'm gonna give it till episode 10 and see where I plan from there. If it doesn't hit with me, then I probably won't continue.
I mean, personally, what I would do, what you should do is give it to episode 16 to 20. And that's where you actually see it getting really good. Right, episode 18, 19, and 20, and then right from there, you see the vendettas, the evil, the backstory of all the characters, and I find out that they're completely outclassed, and they don't know what the fuck is outclassed.
That sounds encouraging.
And after that, we go into the Phantom Pupa, whatever arc. And then after that, it's the Chimera Ants, which Chimera Ants, that one is the longest running arc and by far the most crazy. So
well, it sounds promising. Definitely, you've sold me on it, Shadow.
It's really good.
So, I'll give it till episode 10.
I'll give it a little bit longer, man, because I dropped out and I went back because of Toonami. And now, like I said, I'm on episode 138. Like, it got crazy for me. And if you like the characters, they do develop somewhat good. And so, but I think that's where you should leave it. And it's really good.
It sounds promising. So, at least there's that.
I hate the voices, and I still absolutely love the show. Well, I'm watching it subbed, but yeah. So.
Okay. So, do we think that Toonami needs to be expanded?
I mean, I can get my thing in real fast, and it's going to be very blunt. No.
Yeah, I kind of agree. No.
I would agree too. I think since the block got split up by half, I think it was, right, or a couple hours shorter, it has done better.
Quality's up. Quality's way up. And we have to also play the fact that what do you call it? Adult Swim has like Rick and Morty and other. I mean, God forbid, it is that like weird dog one that's like Satan. That's very popular.
I never watched
Mr. Pickles.
Mr. Pickles.
Yeah.
I only watch Rick and Morty. All the other stuff to me is like stoner nonsense. Like I know when you get it, and you have to be like semi-idiotic or crazy to get it, but it sells. But I think that Adult Swim's block is stronger to more people. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think at this point, if there was an expansion, they need another world premiere, or at least a show.
It has to be a show that would give them a reason to expand it, like Attack on Titan or Space Dandy.
As much as I love Samurai Jack, and I would love the idea for it to kick off the block at like 11:30 or at least even midnight, I don't think it will. But once again, I think it all comes down to what show is replacing Dimension W. Because that can dictate a lot of things.
That is a great point, Sam. That is
exactly.
And I don't know if the next show replacing Dimension W is another short series that's only 12 episodes long, and if I'm correct about Samurai Jack airing in September, then that would lead up to me thinking that they have no plans of expanding, and Samurai Jack will be airing at 12:30.
I mean, I think it's a safe move. I don't know about like hypocrite for fan of, but I think that is playing it safe. They can spend more money on a certain time span. I mean, you have to understand the shows that we have now, and first of all, Attack on Titan is nowhere near. The thing that they could probably do is some of like the new shows, like Terra Forma. That would be good. It's nice and violent. I mean, it plays off of a nice kind of, or Future Diaries. I think they really should get Future Diaries. That would be a nice.
Yeah, Future Diary would be a good pickup, but that's another long one too.
Yeah, I think like for like 12:30, I think a dub premiere, because the first like hour, but after DBZ is all dedicated to dub premieres, and then like 1:30 is dedicated to older series, and then the rest of the block is dedicated to 2 long runners and a rerun.
Yeah.
Wait a minute though. Parasite premiered at 1.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
It was a dub premiere.
Yeah. Oh, and it fits in that one category because it's more of a psychological thriller. I forget the name for it. It's like Senia or whatever, but it's like an adult anime. I mean, personally, I don't know what could fit that spot. I mean, I have a few ideas, but they're mostly long running shows. And
Like maybe they might be able to expand like Naruto, One Piece, and whatever the rerun show is. They might be able to push it down to like maybe 4:30 maybe. But other than that, I wouldn't. I honestly kind of like it at the midnight start off point instead of 11:30.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked 11:30 when we had it. It's
Yeah.
just they didn't know what to do with 11:30 after Attack on Titan ended, and when they got Kill la Kill, it was way too late. So it's obvious people, if we get 11:30 back, even though we're working with less hours, what can they do with that time slot? And if it's temporary, then why even bother?
Right.
If Samurai Jack just gave them a temporary 11:30 slot and it just gets taken away when Samurai Jack ends, then what was the whole point of having that 11:30 slot back?
Right. I completely agree with you. It did really feel like 11:30 was kind of like, what do we do now type of thing.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you there.
Don't get me wrong,
I think the 4:30. That's why I think if they're going to expand it, they should push it like an hour more or something like that.
Don't get me wrong, I liked Attack on Titan and Space Dandy when those let off the block, but
Definitely.
I just think, like you said, like I think they had no idea what to do after Attack on Titan ended, and when like I said, like when they got Kill la Kill, it was just way too late. They needed to get newer shows on the block as fast as possible, and I understand budget is a thing.
Yeah.
But it's just like they needed to work that out in advance.
The fear with the 11:30 time slot is the fact that, for instance, Attack on Titan, even the trailer girlfriend absolutely hates all anime. She watched the trailer, she was interested. I told her the anime, completely disinterested. So the fact of the matter is, people who weren't interested in anime probably watched that shot. The viewership went up dramatically. Then, with the 12 o'clock, like they said, what the hell do we do? So the viewership probably went up high, build a lot of audience, and then it kind of dipped dramatically and stayed.
Yeah, it couldn't sustain the time slots.
Yeah. I also think that if they get 11:30 back, Dragon Ball Z Kai should lead off the block no matter what.
Yes,
because that is their flagship title. It's what people are familiar with,
brings the numbers.
and it brings in ratings.
Yeah.
It's doing what Bleach did.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. I think it's doing better than Bleach, actually.
It is.
Dragon Ball Z
That's
is
the thing,
more
like-
recognizable than Bleach.
Shows are still doing what they're doing.
But I also tend to think that they need a show that can compete with Family Guy in terms of getting viewers.
2 million viewers.
Yeah.
I don't understand it though. I don't understand. I don't know if you guys do, but like that Family Guy stuff. I mean, it gets to a point where I'm at nighttime. I want to see something different. I mean, if I'm staying up this late, I want to invest something besides something that I can just. It seems trivial. And if they replace it with Rick and Morty, like Rick and Morty, then that would have a mood.
I think they tried that once. And it didn't work out, and then went back to Family Guy.
They did put Boondocks before.
Yeah, they did put Boondocks on there at one point in time, but it's just like Family Guy. People are familiar with Family Guy. But I don't know if they enjoy it or not. That's totally up to personal preference.
I'm tired of seeing the reruns of Family Guy.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to them. I just wait until like Toonami comes on.
I mean, it's like what episode are they re-airing now for the upteenth time?
I have no clue. They change it so many times. Like
and it doesn't even matter. It still brings in the views. Like what Shadow said, it brings in 2 million views a week. I mean, you're not going to change that. I would love it if Rick and Morty went into Toonami. That would be I would even
love
watch that.
Because I would actually tune in to watch Rick and Morty, but
Right, exactly.
Right.
It would definitely give me more
At least
motivation.
at least the American Dad, because I hate that shit.
Well, the thing is, with Rick and Morty, that plays the similar audience as Toonami. I mean, who here
That
likes
is true. Yeah.
Who
I
here
like
makes-
Rick and Morty. That's a great show. I'm
I love
excited for season 3 whenever that comes out.
I mean, the fact it has a nice smooth continuous of viewership rather than Family Guy jumping, Attack on Titan jumping, and then going back to like basically the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Didn't Rick and Morty come on right after the blog ended at one point?
Yeah, I think at 3:30 they had Cleveland show, and then they transferred it to the Boondocks at one point.
God,
I don't know about Rick and Morty.
I could have sworn it came on before or after the blog.
they're trying to fill that spot, and I don't think Toonami should fill it. I think they should scramble for a show, do terrible, and then have Toonami be the shining light on Saturday or Sunday.
And, like, there's valid arguments about people saying, well, Samurai Jack, it's this popular show that can possibly compete, but it's like, not really, because Samurai Jack's could not really stand to get the ratings that Family Guy gets consistently.
Yeah, and also it'll be like I think it would be like the Attack on Titan thing where it just couldn't sustain those time slots.
Well,
I think the midnight starting time slot is perfect for it.
I think Attack on Titan held its ground against Family Guy because I think right off the heels when they aired it, it was still very popular.
Yeah, I'm not denying that it couldn't compete. I'm saying like we were talking about where it kind of like it started off great and then it had that dip off.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
what
I
I'm
just
talking
tend to think
about.
that
I
was
feel like that even with Samurai Jack, I feel like it still would have the tip off.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. That's what I mean by it not being able to sustain it and keep those views consistent. It's going to be very sporadic, and networks don't want that at all.
Yeah.
They want consistent. That's why Toonami's, where it is, because even since the April Fool's thing, it's been consistently that every time, and we've seen that in the ratings. Like even when the drop off ratings for Toonami is like 900,000 for DBZ Kai.
Yeah,
that's still pretty decent.
Yeah, that's really good. Even for like Dragon Ball Z Kai, it's been doing remarkably well at that midnight time slot.
Yeah.
I mean, the one time they had 2 million.
Yeah, that was at midnight.
That was
during the Kami Got Killed premiere.
Yeah.
And that was a very interesting night because I believe that topped off Bleach's highest rating. Like I don't think
the highest rated
get that high
show on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any last remarks? I mean, I just say no. So I don't know about.
I would agree. I would not say expand it from 11:30 like it did before. I would say if anything expand it to like 4:30 or something like that.
I think.
But that's the best I would recommend if.
Yeah, and it's like there are people like saying, well, that doesn't give them time to premiere anything. Well, I mean, adding an extra hour to the end of the block, or even half an hour to like ending at 4, that could mean a lot. Because that means they can push down their long runners and have maybe 2 a.m. be another new slot or something.
And like what who was it, Shadow or Phantom? One of you guys mentioned it. I mean, we said Parasite was premiered at 1 o'clock, and that has done very well.
Yeah, and it's even doing well at like 3 a.m. So
yeah, so I disagree if people say that like it has to be the 11:30 for the premiere.
No,
it doesn't necessarily.
Well, the problem with the 11:30 premiere is that people will tune into the premiere and then dip out right after that. And then if you extend the spot further later, that means that they still have to fill those slots, and that takes cash. So you have a problem of cash for new shows. So you have a shorter time it's kind of like an hour-and-a-half movie that's really good, or a long, drawn-out Harry Potter that's just terrible.
And I think with like them acquiring Hunter x Hunter, this means that they're going to try and get more expensive titles in the future.
And long-lasting, only canon, because Hunter x Hunter is sole canon. There is no offshoot; it's just canon. So it's not like One Piece, where people who've seen One Piece before, they'll just simply tune out for a few episodes, even if they do like it, because they're like, this is boring. Like, I don't want to see a second flashback. It's like Naruto, like fillers. I am a Naruto fan, but for the past few weeks, dude, I cannot stand Naruto filler, and I
Yeah,
don't.
I think.
I mean,
oh man.
Yeah.
I really, yeah, I think, what was it? I remember one night, right before, the night before the One Piece filler happened during the Water 7 arc. I
Yeah.
was so disappointed with it because that just murdered its ratings.
Froggy
Yeah.
song.
Just murdered those ratings, man. It was so disappointing. I wish
If there was a
they
point
skipped
where
it.
Toonami should just skip filler, it would be those recap arcs because they were pretty pointless. Yes, they got you caught
Yeah.
up, but they felt pointless in the overall grand scheme of things.
Yes, and you could even see it in the ratings. One
Yeah.
Piece skipped about 400,000 views, if I
Yeah.
recall. 'Cause the-
That was a terrible night.
yeah.
the thing is, for me, I personally have never gotten into One Piece. It's just too big of a daunting task. But when I tune into One Piece, when they have like the action stuff, I mean, I don't know if it's canon or filler, but sometimes the episodes are really good, and you're like, whoa, like this is good. Other times,
Yeah.
I'm really loving this current arc we're on because I think the Thriller Bark arc is a long shot away from like what we saw in Water 7 and Enies Lobby.
I like the skeleton.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the skeleton.
Oh,
dude.
Brooke's awesome.
I don't know who he is, but I love the skeleton dude.
Brooke is one of
Ian
my favorite
Sinclair.
One Piece characters of all
Same
time.
here.
I love him. I remember when I watched it subbed, like when I got up to that arc, he just blew me away instantly, and I've loved him ever since.
All of you guys.
And I'm not sure if there was any filler in between, but the next couple One Piece arcs are really, really freaking good.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be getting to the Marine arc in 2 years or something like that.
oh my
yeah.
god.
What's the time skip?
I don't think it's that close.
We're not that close, but it's closer, and
What a
damn,
dumb.
the time skip.
What a
Yeah.
dumb task.
We may get to the time skip towards the end of Toonami's run. Who knows?
Oh
Yeah.
god. Oh god, man! It's that many episodes.
It is that many episodes, but I'm not going to deny that everything leading up to it was equally as awesome, and basically the Whitebeard War is going to be the big top. I think it's going to get some insane ratings during that time if we get that
If
far,
we
that deep
get to
it.
that point.
Because that was kind of like the icing on the cake on the Water 7 Thriller Bark, the Marine arcs that are about to happen. It's insane. The next couple arcs. I'm not. That's all I'm leaving it as. But
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying.
haven't really gotten that far. I haven't even gotten through Thriller Bark fully, but I'm loving it so far.
Does
Mhm.
Toonami buy a series like One Piece and then basically buy up to arcs? Like, do they buy the arcs or
They
just,
think they go by season because they went by season by Naruto. They bought season 1 of the original Naruto,
Okay.
and then they kind of just stopped from there. Shippuden, I believe they signed a contract deal with Viz saying that they'll air it as long as it keeps on doing well, something like that.
God, that's terrible to have to sign a contract like that. That shows.
I mean, that's standard in practices.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
fact that ties you into all the filler episodes, which you know are not going to do well. So you're kind of holding your breath.
Well, I mean, the filler
Risk you take.
episodes, as much as people give them shit, gives Toonami a lot of time
Oh
for
yeah,
the shows to keep airing.
That, and also people are watching the fillers.
Yeah.
The Naruto fillers are doing better than One Piece's fillers.
That says a lot too.
You're right.
The thing is,
I
though,
find
Oh,
it
Jesus, when are we like getting back to canon with Shippuden and Toonami?
I find it funny that they like usually air music videos during Shippuden, just like
Yeah.
extra incentive for people to watch.
wait, hold up.
Well, I think they do that because Naruto doesn't have an opening, so they kind of just like, oh yeah, we'll air as much as we can, cut it, and then air the music video.
I don't understand.
They aired one during DQC. I think.
Yeah,
I
they
believe
have.
that was a while ago, though.
What is up with the music videos? Because personally, like, I hate them. I hate them so much. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't.
I feel like
It's like nonsense. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't fit into like. I mean, it doesn't fit into the two. Maybe it does fit into Toonami. I have no idea. But
It's just
it comes
bizarre. Like,
I-
music videos to me, at least for what Toonami has aired, has always been very bizarre and strange.
Oh, dude, it comes
yeah,
out of left field.
I think it fits the Toonami mold, like back in the day and all. It definitely fits. I feel like, me personally, the last like 3 or 4 music videos have been eerily similar though. They're like
Yeah.
something that you would watch if you were high, and they were
Yeah, exactly.
all the music videos were very similar to that. No offense to to the weed smokers or anything like that.
Oh, no,
I
no,
like the music videos. I just felt the music videos were too similar. Like my example of the perfect brand new music video esque that aired on Toonami was Rattle That Lock. That music video was freaking incredible, and the music was equally as great. that was epic. That whole thing. But other than that, the music videos have been eerily similar. Like that one stood out. Rattle That Lock. That one stood out to me.
Okay. Should we get on to the next topic?
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
So, I don't know if any of you guys know this or not, but do those guys who do the music video, are they paying? They get that on FS?
Yes, they are paying it to air.
They better pay. I mean, I'm
Sometimes they are approached by the artist in question to air it for them.
Yeah.
But I think most of the time they pay.
So, does any of that money go toward the block?
I don't.
Maybe.
Hopefully it does, man, because that stuff, you got to pay a lot of money for me to watch that stuff.
I would assume a little bit, but not too much. Like it's you're not going to buy a show with it.
Yeah.
It's probably 27.
I think they get more money from like doing like advertisements for Sony movies.
In the video game.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, no, not the video games. I think the video games are like a passion thing that they kept.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking about like the video game things that they sponsor.
Oh, the Microsoft deals and stuff. Yeah, they get paid for that.
Yeah. That's why Xbox keeps showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least Microsoft's smart.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they need it.
Yeah, the Xbox One
isn't
not
doing too
really
good.
doing well.
So, the next one, live action American.
Yeah, live action adaptations on anime.
And another one of my deeply despised industries in anime. I hate them more than anything.
Well, I think here's the thing.
Okay.
Can we actually,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We've kind of like taken inspiration from anime, and in fact, we've actually done an anime kind of like adaptation with Edge of Tomorrow, because that was based around, I believe, a light novel or manga.
Edge of Tomorrow, Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Even a lot of people compare that to anime as well.
Yeah, because I mean, it can be done. It's just it depends on who the director is, who the screenwriter is. And I think I don't care much about the actors. It depends on certain works, but certain actors should be picked for certain anime adaptations of films. But as far as like films that don't really need that, let's just take, for example, if we made a live-action Black Lagoon film, I don't think that really matters in the long scheme of things.
Ghost in the Shell, though. Ghost in the Shell did get Scarlett Johansson, and that was very, 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 very liked. But the problem I have with it is when you try to do Naruto. I mean, even Parasite. Did you see the Parasite thing? Like, how are you?
Yeah.
How do you do Parasite? Like, this guy's
CG.
lots
of CG.
It looked like a puppet to me, man.
Yeah.
It looked like a puppet. Okay, and it
There's
goes.
a action Parasite series in Japan.
Yeah, there's a live-action Parasite, 2 live-action Parasite movies in Japan.
I know, but the thing is, they're already weird enough over there that's acceptable in some respects, and it has a fan group. Here, we're used to. I mean, the thing with it's kind of like, how can you do DBZ fighting live action?
Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
My feelings on the subject has always been, I don't feel like. I feel like we should be allowed to explore those ideas, though. Like I'm glad that a Ghost in the Shell movie is being made.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm happy that American studios are exploring these intellectual properties, and I feel like we should be allowed to do that. The things that pisses me off is when people say that Americans can't do it. They just simply can't do it because it has to be strictly Japanese actors. It has to be strictly Japanese.
Obviously, they've been proven wrong because here's the thing, with the Japanese, they've actually said before they're fine with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, they have.
They think it's even better.
Yeah.
So the only people who have issues with this is white people.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're
speaking for Japanese now?
Yeah.
I feel like it's an entitlement thing where I feel like it's an entitlement thing, and I don't think we should limit our our approaches, our way of attempting these concepts or ideas. Some American out there who actually is a fan of Ghost in the Shell is capable of telling a great Ghost in the Shell story. That's my opinion.
The problem that they had though was Hollywood had a long-standing problem with diversity. So you know what they did? Okay, we got something that they clearly, Scarlett Johansson is playing a clearly Asian role, and they used it. I mean, the fact that they used it, and the thing is, there is a big argument. Well, they've taken jobs away from the Asian Americans who could fill that role, and do they even look for them and everything? So our problem in Hollywood was then reflected on basically a scapegoat of Scarlett Johansson.
There's like two ways of doing this. It's like there's the adaptation way of like just trying to tell the original manga or storyline that we're trying to interpret.
Right.
Or it's somewhere like what Edge of Tomorrow did, completely change everything from its original source material and make it more of an Americanized work. But still have it feel like it was the original manga.
Or you could tell your own original story and see if people like it or not.
American comics do that, right? There's many different Batmans and like
basically it's the same thing. Yeah.
The problem I get with it is when you try to do things that are clearly not very akin to that type of media, like Attack on Titan, where the problem I have with it is people that aren't into anime have no idea. They see a movie and it's like, oh, it's just another movie, like a superhero movie. They see Attack on Titan and they're like, what the fuck is this? So it leaves a bad impression of that, and then it gets rid of them into the entire fan base, where you have Attack on Titan and Naruto, which Naruto, it looked like they took a fanboy Weibo and threw him into the movie and painted his face. I mean, that's...
Here's the thing is this, like, with certain films, like I said before, certain films, I think you can get American actors, like, or at least a worldly cast, because like Attack on Titan can serve itself well from that worldly cast.
Yes.
But Japan didn't do that.
Same with like Full Metal Alchemist. If we ever made a live-action adaptation of that, we could do that because there's European names. They're very European in look and feel.
Right. I disagree that Hollywood suffers from lack of diversity. And those people saying like, they didn't even bother with the Japanese cast. You don't know that. I'm just gonna say that right now. You don't.
It's all about like name notoriety, because Hollywood needs to make a profit.
All you can go by is what you hear in the articles and stuff, and you weren't personally there, so it's hard to even say like, oh, they did try to cast like a Japanese actor, but it just he or she didn't fit the role or whatever. I think the problem is that the people that Hollywood is hiring to work on the films, a la Dragon Ball Evolution, M. Night Shyamalan, these are not the people hired to attack these intellectual properties. They just seem to always pick the person with the wrong mindset going in, or someone who just isn't familiar with the material.
Yeah.
There aren't, before like anime has gotten popular, there weren't really like a lot of directors out there that were into anime. The only ones that I know are Guillermo del Toro, Christopher Nolan.
The guy who made Mad Max.
Yeah.
The anime.
That guy. It's
what about the makers?
Oh yeah, the Wachowski brothers are like so super into anime.
Yeah.
They even made like a live-action adaptation of Speed Racer, which sucked.
Yeah.
It's just either they don't have the vision for it, or they don't know how to approach the material. That seems to be the common thing.
I think the people tend to forget, like, we have done anime correctly. It's just we've used different names, like The Matrix, Edge of Tomorrow, Pacific Rim.
Yep.
It's just we kind of like
make
it our own.
Yeah, they're making a too fine of a distinction between. It's like anime is only, Japanese style, this and this, rather than a broader. I mean, the thing is, most of this stuff is not even drawn anymore in Japan. All that. So
yeah,
and I do agree that
it's like here's like another thing. It's it's not
go
like
on, Sam, sorry.
Sorry, it's like I don't mean to interrupt you. It's just
not at all. Go ahead.
Passion.
It's like there's like certain anime works that feel more American than the Japanese. Than the Japan version, like Big O, or like even Cowboy Bebop. Like those shows feel distinctly made that they could be made in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And on purpose too.
Yeah.
Like the thing is though that when it comes down to it is I think the proper way of doing it was like what Sam said, where if you're gonna you have to play to an audience, okay? So that's kind of what you have to do. What's wrong with doing what we've been doing for the past 5 years with our comics? We've been taking them, basically saying we're gonna pick one author's interpretation or one story writer's interpretation of, say, Batman, of this, and you make it. So say we want to do, what's a good one? You pick like an Inuyasha, and you do one like that, but you make it ours rather than trying to reprint.
I stay away from stuff that is distinctly Japanese.
Oh no, I'm just trying to pick something rather than take.
Like if we were to do another Dragon Ball movie, like correctly, I think they should hire like the best people who are fans of the series and get a great director on board.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think Hollywood's logic behind it isn't necessarily the right way of going about it. It seems like I would give an example, kind of like what happened with the Christopher Nolan Batman series going into Man of Steel, where they thought going in, if we make a Superman movie in the style of Christopher Nolan, people will like it because people like Christopher Nolan's Batman movies. But the problem there is that Christopher Nolan's style does not work with Superman. In fact, Superman is the exact opposite of Christopher Nolan's style, and that's why it wouldn't work. Same logic here applies, I think, to going after live-action animes. They hire people with the wrong, like I said, the wrong intentions, the wrong mindset, a la the Dragon Ball Evolution director, who even admitted in the article that he went into that not giving two shits and just went in as a paycheck, and I quote, just to get a paycheck.
I hate people like that who literally have no...
Why are you in the movie business for doing that? But anyway, I know why you're in the movie business for doing that, but that's not why you should be in the movie business. But anyway, like that's the perfect example right there. They go in with the wrong mindset, or they just don't know how to combat the material right. And I think the CGI thing is, I agree with you, the CGI just doesn't work with a live action anime. I think there should be a different approach with it.
I think there should be some CGI, because, like I said, if we make like a live-action Full Metal Alchemist movie, of course we should use CGI with that.
But that series,
yeah, but like the Attack on Titan things, like monsters look fake. They look absolutely fake and completely.
The walls look terrible. Like, I mean, you can't do Naruto, you can't do Bleach. I mean, some things that is not compatible. So don't force a circular thing into a square hole. Yeah. Just leave it. And you know what they did? They said, you know what? Attack on Titan's really big. It has a huge following. I mean, I see people in my college wearing the stuff, and they look like normal people. Which is kind of stunning because they're wearing it like the jacket and everything, and then they know the whole intro song. And then they're pandering to that audience, and they just basically said, "How can we do this into a movie?" And and the thing is, some of the things are just not compatible. It's just that simple. I mean,
and the approach about it, I remember them here. I remember hearing about the Attack on Titan live action movie, and they were saying Eren and none of the main characters are in it, but apparently they are.
Yeah, but no, Eren was completely replaced. No blonde hair, no nothing. I mean, they basically made a brand new character. And
why?
The thing is, they did this, and that's what they did. I mean, I really just hope. I have no problem with live action movies. Just stay away from stuff you cannot do. Don't mess up Parasite for other people who haven't seen the show.
Well, I disagree with that, because you can't make that assumption unless you actually attempt to try to make it, I think.
No, the thing is, it's one of those things where if you try to make it and you can't basically get something that looks somewhat better than a puppet, you shouldn't ruin the series for people who aren't into the series. Because it might be just my suspicion, but they try to force all the popular shows into these type of things. And then the implications are we're going to destroy the actual anime's market of potential customers.
I would agree with that.
And then they zip out with the movie, and what is the skin off their back? I mean,
I agree with you. I agree with you, but again, you're not. gonna find that out until you attempt to make the film. And on top of that, too, in these cases as well, I'm assuming there's, corporate producers that are saying we need to throw this in, to appeal to this demographic too.
Well,
Because ultimately, they're the ones that get the final say. I know, like directors get a lot of say in how the film's made and all that, but the producers get the final say of they could do whatever the hell they want.
Well, it's the money. If they have enough money to do it, they speak, and if you don't want to go with them,
they're the ones that are providing the money.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take away the money. But the thing is, when it's like that, they are not connected to the actual series. Like, they don't care if they completely leave a horrible impression of that series. And it's equivalent to writing and pitchforks on Reddit about that series. Yet that series has no way, shape, or form any parallel to a crappy movie that they made solely for profit. I mean, if they can do great in Japan, that's great. But like Full Metal Alchemist or one of those things, I think that could be done. Ghost in the Shell definitely can be done.
Yeah.
Black Lagoon, definitely. But Space Dandy, not so much. Okay, so I mean JoJo Bizarre.
Maybe.
I watched that show.
Maybe.
Maybe. Depends on how cheesy and hammy the acting is.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where stay away from stuff that's clearly something that's not very compatible with the actual production and manufacturing of a title. Know your limits is kind of what I want.
Well, that's the thing. These companies don't know their limits. That's the problem.
That's strange, yeah.
I don't get, but I kind of get it because it's expensive. It's like all the people who try to make an anime movie to have to incorporate CG. Why not just go the old school method and incorporate animation?
Yeah, you know more about that stuff with the technology and stuff.
Either that, I would prefer it to be practically. Like, if they could figure out some way to make the Attack on Titan creatures look more like if it was like a mix of CGI with shooting, exactly, like it's very certain parts here and there, throw the CGI in, but if you can mix it up with practical stuff too, that's what sells it, because it looks real and the characters have something real.
Because that's how the Batman Christopher Nolan films were, because they were all practical and only used little CGI.
Yes.
Which made them feel like real films. They kind of didn't feel like they were made in a soundstage.
I know it's a popular example, but just look at the comparisons of the original Star Wars trilogy and the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are apparently part of the same universe, but they do feel different.
Yeah.
You can.
What about Force Awakens?
Force Awakens is kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Because that's practically what it was. It was.
Yeah. It used some practical effects, but it has CGI.
Well, you have to do with Force Awakens. You also have to take into consideration that the people who fell in love with the series before now have children, now have families.
Yeah.
So the fact that you want to share, bond, basically it's the same thing as what you would want to have your kid do. You want to have them all the stuff that you had, be in the same interest. So they came in right at the right time. So the fact that it's good or not really didn't matter to those people. Fans, and it's an opportunity to have their kid fall in love with the same series they fall in love with in their kids. So you have to take that influence into consideration with the sales and all that. But other than that, if the fans like it, the fans like it. So, I mean, but you also have to take it with a grain of salt of, do they really like the actual production quality, the actual methods of animation, or did they basically go because they wanted to share a good experience with their kid that they had when they were a kid with their father or mother?
Right.
I mean, my closing thing is, know your limits. Do shows that are compatible with the technology at the moment in time, and don't screw up series that people could fall in love with, like Attack on Titan, giving them
Dragon Ball.
like stuff like that.
Stay away from Dragon Ball Hollywood.
Stuff that is not working out. It's just stuff that clearly you cannot do, and you should just stay away, because these are going to be a train wreck, and you're going to collect your money and never think about it again.
I disagree that they can't do it. It's just they make the wrong decisions. They don't get the right people working on it. And I think that's its biggest problem.
But they can also just spend all that money on another Star Wars movie, another superhero movie, and
but those things don't last forever.
They need new material,
Yeah.
and the anime market, and hell, even the video game market. They could make movies based on some of the franchises in those genres as well. The problem is, again, they just don't hire the
If
right
anime
people.
doesn't make a profit, then why the hell do some production companies buy out these like anime companies?
I don't
Media, I believe, is ownership is Warner Brothers.
I just think they don't understand, like,
how they
I
work.
don't think they not even how they work. They don't understand the source material, and they think they could just hire any other guy to do it.
Well,
that's the thing.
The problem I see, though, that I kind of thing is, it's kind of the visuals and stuff, which that's what I'm trying to stress, is the fact that if you can't do stuff, don't try to replace Migi with a damn puppet. Like, try to.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, like it's just those things where you can explore these concepts, but the fact that if you cannot replicate it in a quality that would be acceptable to, I mean, not even the creator, but a fan, be like, oh, I'll take it. It's mediocre, but I'll take it. I mean, there's stuff where shows that and series that are very compatible, go at it.
I thought it's just the source material.
But I disagree with that, because, again, you're not going to know if you'll be able to execute it properly and have the fans accept it or not if you even attempt it.
I think it all comes
You
down
have to attempt it first, I think.
I think it all comes down to when the movie releases. I should judge a film when it releases. Like, I see it myself. I go to the movie theater, pay for a ticket. If I hate it, I wasted my money. If I like it, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those things where either way, you knew it was a long shot, either pleasantly surprised or you knew it was a long shot. I mean, the problem I have, though, is like, like you're stressing, you don't know until you try it. Well, you kind of do, because most of these times it's done in Japan first. I mean, the Attack on Titan was done in Japan. Okay,
But
and
you're not going to know until you explore it, though.
Oh no, let them explore it, because they have a more loyal fan base that will accept it. Here, most people are ignorant of I wouldn't say ignorant, but they consider anime as childish and all this stuff. So when they do see this stuff, they're like, wait, hold up. The person I was talking to in college about Attack on Titan is watching this shit? Like, the people who are not aware of this stuff get a wrong impression. And the quality is so different that, I mean, if you saw the Attack on Titan movie or the Parasite movie, why in God's name would you ever go back and try the anime and see the source material? It's not that you can't do it, but the fact that they don't do it to a high enough quality where it's acceptable. I mean, it goes down. I mean, Naruto is a great example. Look at Naruto. Just look at him. I mean, that's all you have to do. Look at the poster, and you say, am I going to spend $12, $13 to watch this guy prance around?
Right.
That's what I did, and I just cut it out. I'm like, this is unacceptable. Like, it's just unacceptable. And then how are they going to do Rasengan? Imagine that Rasengan or Chidori. So, you know, and then all the Naruto fans who, girlfriend, boyfriend, family member who like Naruto, are looking at him like, you are insane. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you watch this stuff really? Like, voluntarily? Like, you really are a fan. And the problem with that is it's more of the population rather than the actual show, but it reaches a wider audience, and that's why I say it can be quite dangerous if you don't do it to a standard.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. It's just like the Western mentality of anime is that it's a niche thing that only appeals to a certain demographic.
And that's the problem in a sense, because it's either when you say anime, they think of
Dragon Ball Z,
or some people even think about like Teen Titans Go. And
why?
No, but
that's not even an anime.
You get what I'm
Or
saying.
Avatar, same here, like with Avatar, that's not an anime.
Sam,
they think of it as childish. That's what I'm trying to get at, and it's kind of childish and not really.
Maybe, but to be fair, some of those people may be fans of the original series, which did have anime inspiration.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Which is fine.
No, but I'm not using Attack on Titan as like a specific example. I'm just saying the fact that if I talk to someone about anime, they think of more of like, oh, that's just Japanese cartoons, like they're like Saturday morning cartoons that I watched when I was 8. Like they don't know that
they don't know the difference.
Yeah, the fact that there's more genres of anime than there are movies. There's probably more genres of anime than there are genres of music. Okay, they have every type of mediocre TV show that you could possibly have a genre for. Anime does it. So the fact to say that it's the thing is that it's I would admit the fact that they should try it, but if they're going to try it, execute it poorly, and then have mixed with the Western mentality of basically niche. They don't know anything about it, so when they do get exposed to it, they're horrified and they run away.
They should do like test footage, kind of like what the result of Deadpool was.
Yeah. If they do something like that, that would be impressive, and they do it correctly. That's really even more impressive.
Right.
I think nowadays
They should try to produce. I think Hollywood should try to produce more test footage stuff and release it and see if people like it or not.
I think nowadays we're living in an era where anime is more apparent to newer directors like Del Toro or even to like newer people who are coming onto the scene.
Worldly mentality now, rather than just the fact that I make this is what I'm good at. Like Michael Bale, I do this. Explosions. I'm gonna only do explosions. Like most people are now bridging out, and that's good. Yeah. But you know, to cap it off, I really think they should. It's playing with fire, and the fact that it's easily gonna burn, and they don't get burned. The fans in the genre get burned.
Okay.
Yeah, I would second that, but I think they should start doing more test footage of this stuff, putting it out there, and see what the reaction is to that test footage.
Yeah. Just online, exactly.
Yeah, just online.
It's and also it's I think it's beneficial for them because it doesn't, so they don't have to commit the full $400 billion budget. They could just make something with like $1 million or $2 million, maybe even less, and see if people like it. And then you'd be like, okay, just continue going with this vision. You got it.
Stay. Good. Yeah.
And so
I think that's all we have to say on that. Should we move on?
Yes. This is Phantom's topic. So Phantom, take it away.
So, I guess it's a month off, but the trailer for Doctor Strange premiered on Jimmy Kimmel and eventually hit online.
It did.
I haven't seen it, so I can't give my opinion. So
I saw like the trailer and I fully don't remember it at all.
I never saw it at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of it then.
I've seen the trailer like 3 or 4 times. I watched it online, and I've seen it the 2 times that I saw Civil War. So
I didn't see that.
I need to see that movie so badly.
Rogue One, but anyway. So I guess for the people who haven't seen it, Doctor Strange is a neurosurgeon by the name of Stephen Strange. He got one day he got into a car accident which breaks his hands. He spends a bunch of his money, since he's a wealthy doctor. No one can't cure his hands, so he's pretty much broken spirit and whatnot. And then in his travels, he ends up in Tibet, and he meets this person by the name of the Ancient One. In the live-action movie, the Ancient One's betrayed by a female. But in the animated movie that Marvel did years ago, it's a male. In the comics, the Ancient One was a male. I don't know what I'm getting at that, but anyway. So
that's kind of important, though. The fact that they're different characters. I mean, is there any difference between do you think one's better than the other? I mean, because you're switching between guy and girl, there has to be.
Well, people are taking it negatively, but Marvel's trying to take not a political approach. They made that clear.
Oh, I think I saw the actual picture of the female that's playing it, and I think, she is supposed to be like an Asian guru. She kind of fits it pretty damn well. It has like a Kill vibe to it.
I thought she looked cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I liked it, and for someone who is not familiar, like Finn, I'm like, you definitely know a lot about it, but for someone who's not familiar, I think she looks pretty damn close. With the chin bones and without the facial hair, of course, but she definitely has a Kill Asian-esque vibe to her.
Right. So then, I guess when Strange ends up in Tibet and meets the Ancient One, he would eventually be persuaded by the Ancient One by showing the ways of the mystic arts. and he would learn the ways of the mystic arts to eventually to become the Sorcerer Supreme himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I like the visuals that they're showing. Like when Strange's spirit was removed from his body.
Yeah.
And then the trippy visual effects.
It looks interesting. I like the shot of like the different shots of like the Inception thing that was going on.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was interesting and strange, pun intended. It looks interesting and quite honestly too, how much I love Civil War 2 has really piqued my interest, because literally Civil War has got me interested in the other characters as well, like Ant-Man, Winter Soldier, and stuff. I didn't see the previous movies. Like,
what?
Yeah, I didn't see Winter Soldier or Ant-Man.
What?
Civil War.
You needed to see those movies to understand Civil War.
But I understood Civil War fine without seeing those movies, actually.
That's what everyone's been saying, though.
Doctor Strange, though. So Civil War's great.
Civil War did great, but because of that, it got my interest again back into Marvel, because it kind of fell off, especially after Iron Man 2, because Iron Man 2 happened. And
don't remind me of that mess of a film.
Do you know who's actually doing it? Is it Universal? Like,
what?
Who's making the actual Doctor Strange movie?
It is Marvel.
It's Marvel. They pretty much have their own studio at this
Marvel
point.
has its own. Oh my goodness. Well, so it's going to have very good visuals, I'm guessing, similar to Civil War and whatnot. So I don't go to see the superhero movies, but the visuals, if you don't have visuals in superhero movies, it's kind of...
The thing, though, with the licensing rights to the superheroes, like, take X-Men and the Fan Four Stick, for example. Those are owned by Fox, and the only reason why they had to Marvel give those away, because back in the 90s, they were bankrupt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know that, plus, like, if you look at the comics I don't want to refer to Civil War again, but if you look at the comics for the Civil War series, each side has, like, at least, like, 50 superheroes.
And we went from Doctor Strange to Civil War.
But then you go straight to the airport scene, and there's like 3 or 4 on each side. So I understand that, but the more focused I was going to get onto is who's kind of producing. Because if Marvel's producing it, I guess they're the best people to produce it, honestly. I mean,
that's because they stick with the source material.
Well, they planned everything out pretty clearly, and they have set their tone and mood perfectly. Like, when you watch a Marvel movie, you can tell. In DC, what the hell do we do?
Well,
Let's
right
make
now,
it epically dark and depressing all the time.
That's what they said for Age of Ultron, but then you look at it now.
No, Age of Ultron is not dark at all.
That movie sucked.
They
I hated that movie so much.
So this one, is it just going to be a standalone Doctor Strange, or
it's a standalone?
Yes. Yeah, it's standalone origin story for Doctor Strange, basically.
I mean, he'll probably eventually pop up in another movie, like probably say Infinity War.
Because I know that Marvel right now is creating basically a superhero trilogy dynasty kind of thing, where each one of them, they're going to get their own movie, and then they're going to kind of
they're building their universe.
Yeah,
that's
basically their
the thing.
catalog, and then the other competing thing, I forget who they are, DC Comics, I guess.
Yeah.
They're building the same thing. So right now there's a little bit of kind of like a war.
Yeah, but
DC has already fucked it up. Don't even consider them as part of it.
No.
Well, that's just going on.
They can't fix what they already broken.
But anyways, that's kind of what's going on now. So Doctor Strange is gonna have just a standalone movie. It's not gonna be a continuing series. It's just gonna be like more of an introduction.
This particular movie, yes, but they're making it because of the grand scheme of things. He obviously has a part to play at some point in this
universe. It's gonna be a female
universe.
It's gonna be a female in all the previous the next.
We have Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange.
Yeah, literally all these Marvel movies are connected in some way. We just haven't seen how all these movies are connected yet. We've only seen how Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and all those movies are connected. But we still haven't seen like the movie with well, I guess a little bit with Guardians of the Galaxy, but again, all these are all connected.
To
And
one greater scheme.
It's just
Yeah.
so they're laying down the framework and the brick and mortar to their actual.
And I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on with Inhuman, since the director for that is directing Indiana Jones 5.
Why is that movie a thing?
I
Indiana
agree.
Jones 5.
Yeah, dude, the
I don't know,
aliens.
We'll
aliens
talk to Disney. That's what
the world.
Disney announced it.
The aliens should just destroy
Why
the
not
world.
just reboot the thing at this point? Harrison
No,
Ford is not
no.
capable.
Like,
Dude, just
Crystal Skull, I may defend to a point.
we need to not.
But Indiana Jones 5 should not have happened, and they should not reboot Indiana Jones. It's perfect as it is. Stop it. Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
We got to get to Doctor Strange though, because this is the
Yeah.
actual topic.
So there's also a character who's playing the main villain, and he's from Hannibal.
Oh,
I
cool.
can't particularly remember what he does.
Is he playing the bad guy?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Let me go look it up real quick as we're talking.
Okay.
Is he gonna have a big beard? Because I imagine Hannibal with a gigantic beard. I don't know why, but I just do.
Because
Does it
it
You're
makes
talking about the
makes him
TV
more
show
menacing?
Hannibal, right, Phantom?
yes.
Okay. I
Does he
think I
have-
know who you're talking about then.
Sam, does he
Oh,
have
okay.
a beard?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, they didn't
It's
mention.
been a while
Dormammu
since I last watched
yet.
Hannibal.
Hannibal sounds like a guy with a beard. I mean, I think we can all agree on that one.
And also, they're saying that the Agamotto might apparently have a Infinity Stone.
Oh, okay.
What the
They
hell?
may tie the Infinity Stone. Okay.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Can you explain it to a layman's person? Because I have no idea what the hell that is.
Isn't it that all-powerful stone that can do practically anything?
Yeah.
Like the sorcerer's stone.
Hold on, wait. The Infinity Stone or the Eye of Agamotto?
Either one, I don't know.
Because the Infinity Stones are the things that have different powers.
6 Infinity Stones.
Yeah, there's 6 of them apparently.
Well, was that like? Is that going to be the driving plot force within the show of like?
Well, it's the driving force for the cinematic universe. Because you have
Oh,
the
So
space, you have space, power,
Yeah, but what is that-
reality, soul, time, and
yeah, but is that going to show up in the Doctor Strange review or the?
it's speculated it's supposed to appear in Doctor Strange
Hmm.
or Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok. But the Eye of Agamotto is a amulet that Strange wears.
Yeah, but like I thought we were talking about Doctor Strange, man. Like, not the whole.
Yeah, the Eye of Agamotto is in Doctor Strange.
Okay.
It is a mystical item.
Sounds scary. It just does. So Egyptian too.
I have nothing left to say about Doctor Strange.
I have no. I don't know where. I have no idea where this is going, but I know it's going down.
I mean, when I talk to people about Doctor Strange, they're like, "Is that Doctor Who?" I'm like,
No.
Like, dude, Doctor
"Get
Strange.
out of here!" That
Strange is
if
probably
you know Marvel, why would you know Doctor Who?
well,
Or
dude,
Well,
Max
with Marvel, people are more familiar with like the X-Men,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Spider-Man,
saying.
Captain America.
Doctor Who. I probably know more about that octopus guy in Spider-Man than Doctor Who. I mean, I'm not a big comic book man though, but I think they should do a Riddler and a.
So the director for Doctor Strange is Scott Derrickson.
God, no,
I've not seen anything what he's produced.
Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
not
we're-
much.
Not much.
We were just mentioning the director's name of the movie,
Okay.
And
which is
like
Scott-
Eye of
Scott
Argamotto.
Derrickson.
Never heard of him.
Oh, really? Me too.
Trip, can you save me here? You got you got anything? Here?
Oh, and Baron
Oh,
Mordo
it's
is apparently
Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Doctor Strange?
No, I mean, I kind of stay out of the Marvel thing. They're not my
Yeah.
favorite movies.
I just
I really
wish
like.
I just wish DC would just do their stuff better.
Okay, I figured out that Hannibal guy.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. This can go either one of two ways with this director for
Oh,
Doctor
he-
Strange.
Oh,
I've
Sam,
never
like-
heard of him, but I
He
am
did
semi-familiar
Sinister
with his
movies.
movies.
He directed Sinister 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He's basically a horror director.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Hellraiser,
Wait,
Exorcism.
are they gonna make Doctor Who a Frankenstein character? Is that what you're telling me?
Probably not, but
Mostly directed horror films.
He's gonna turn into a werewolf after the movie.
Yeah, not everyone knows. Not a whole entire lot of people know about Doctor Strange, but people who read the comics know him better.
I'm not too familiar with them. I've only
I've seen him in cartoons.
basically like.
I know him from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, boy.
I've never played those games, so
They're alright. They're alright. Pretty good. Pretty good games. Not my cup of tea though.
Just don't remind me about the depression that they're no longer making that game series.
So they stopped making those games?
It's because mainly of the Disney Disney.
Oh, okay, that makes
deal.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Capcom would
And
probably have
then
to pay
Marvel
more
made
money.
a shitty fighting game for the mobile phone.
Hey guys, I gotta actually go. Right now.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to throw in your impressions of it though, real quick? Have you seen the trailer?
I don't think he
I
has.
have not seen the trailer.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends that watch these things like religiously,
Okay.
but it just doesn't. I don't really go to movies often because I think they're a waste of absolute time and money. And
Okay.
I can wait a few weeks or months and actually like buy it if I really want to. If my girlfriend wants to go to it, I'll probably go to it, but it's highly unlikely she wants to go to it.
Okay.
So
Who's leaving?
I gotta leave, boss.
Shadow's gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving at the worst possible time because you and E-Rock are only going about the last topic.
Well,
No, we can't do the last topic, man. I mean, I can sum it up really quick to you right now. The fact of the matter is, right now, very, 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 very good computers are having trouble with 4K.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're going to try to somehow put this in a console, you have to understand, this might be the size of a mini refrigerator at this point. Okay? And they're going to try to put it there. And they're really not doing anything particularly good. The fact that producers of the games will have to actually redo their entire game based on 4K. The thing is, it's like a little bit crisper. I mean, there's been people who've messed around with it, said it's like playing Call of Duty and you look outside at like Starbucks and you see Call of Duty.
It's basically the new HD. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole thing that this is basically done for, it's said to be rumored to be announced right near their VR thing. The fact that they are the lowest priced VR system out today, there's a caveat involved in that because there's a lot of add-ons that you actually need to actually pair it up with your PlayStation. So it's going to pander to probably the most hardcore people. The only good thing that I could see from this is people who can't afford a PlayStation 4 right now, the price should drop around $50 to $25, hopefully more dollars, because they're basically not doing much. It's kind of like, I have a feeling that it's going to be like the 3D TVs where people buy them, there's no fucking content for them. Zero. There's no 3D content. You wasted a few $1,000s now on a TV, and there's no one producing no actual material for it. So you're going to get minimum uses. The rumors are probably true because it's going to pair up right near the VR system. But they already have rumors of the fact that they're not going to make a PlayStation 4. There's suspicions that Xbox is going to probably jump down. And if Xbox makes another one, maybe. Right now, Sony is beating Nintendo dramatically within the console market.
Their network makes more money than Nintendo.
With the new one that they're coming out right now, that might motivate them to maybe revamp the PlayStation. But the future of where this is probably going to go is you're going to have one sole console and you're going to have it somewhat modular where you can add stuff to your liking rather than buying a brand new console every year.
That sounds like a PC. That sounds like a gaming PC for consoles.
Exactly.
That sounds a lot cheaper and affordable than buying a new console every 5-6 years.
The problem that they're having right now is they want to try to do what Apple is doing with a new release every year or two. The problem that they have right now is no game producers, no one developing content that is worth basically buying and investing, because you invest in the console for the material. So if you don't have any material that panders to that console, it goes dead. Look at Nintendo. There's not much. There's not much actual material being constantly flooded into it. So there's no reason to buy a Nintendo rather than Smash Brothers and a couple of other hardcore, lovable games.
Yeah.
It will change if 4K becomes actually more easy to achieve. But till then, it's a stupid choice and it's pandering to VR users.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
That's basically it. And I think you have to have a 4K TV to use it. So, I mean, it goes to, if you're okay with 1080p, stay in 1080p.
Yeah, it's kind of like when Sony was trying to push 3D for their PlayStation 3s with their 3D TVs. It's like, don't do that. It's like you're making a market that's not even going to be available in 2 years.
Oh, look where 3D is now. I mean, let's just...
Yeah, 3D is not even a thing. Like, Nintendo got rid of, like, the 3D for the 2DS and then just brought it back for the new updated 3DS model.
That's a headache, first of all. The problem with the 3D that they have now is because everyone's eyesight isn't perfect.
Yeah.
And one eye is worse than the other. Either you get a headache, you feel nauseous, or you simply don't like it in general, which I hate it on my console, and I turn it all the way down on little 3DS. But
all I'm going into the PlayStation 4.5 is, if it has a bigger hard drive, I will be pissed. That I would be forced to upgrade my console because 500 gigabytes is shit.
Oh no, it's better than 32 gigabytes.
I know it is, but so far this generation with the 500 gigabyte hard drive that both the Xbox One and PlayStation have are shit. Because you can only keep 5 games installed on your system.
Yeah, Xbox One now has like a 1 terabyte hard drive that you can buy.
It should have been at least like a terabyte and a half. Like it should have been at least that.
PlayStation came out with a new console that you can actually buy, and I think it has a terabyte, and you can actually go and buy a new hard drive. It's fairly easy to take out the hard drive.
I know it is, I know.
So, the thing is, that is more of an economical and logical decision, and I already looked at the specs. The memory is not that different. I mean, it's more...
No, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, it's
I'm aware of that.
Rather than actual usable memory. So, the rumors, to make it short and sweet, the rumors are probably true. It's unachievable for the normal gamer. It's illogical for the normal gamer. The people who are going to buy it are the people who are going to be... I believe it's going to be software people who are actually developing games, and they're going to... They already get producer-grade consoles for making content for that particular device.
Those people, and I would assume the crazy graphics people too, that think graphics is everything in video games.
Well, the thing is, though...
I mean, look at the PlayStation Vita.
I know, I hear you, man.
Like, the PlayStation Vita is a powerful device. It's got great graphics for a handheld, but it's doing shit on the market because developers don't know what the hell to do with it.
They don't know what the hell to do with it, and also Sony doesn't promote it either.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's a new PlayStation Portable. Oh, you can't even make games out of it.
Well, the thing is that Sam just pointed out is the fact that developers will not, like, for instance, the main titles. They're not going to go and remake Fallout in 4K. Yeah. You're going to be playing the same exact Fallout, the same exact games, because the thing is the producers have to get online with it, and if they aren't going to basically invest in, if you think about it, everything's already okay. Yeah. So
and also from what I heard, to be fair, that they weren't going to go back and like remaster games into 4K. It was basically whatever games moving forward.
And they have to.
One thing I would worry about the PS4 4K, whatever it's called, if it just supports those upcoming games and it cannot play regular PlayStation 4 games.
No, it can.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, the only difference is that it won't play. It will play all PlayStation 4 games. If it was backward compatible, I would buy that in a second.
Oh yeah,
same.
Play like my PlayStation 3 games. Shit, I'll buy that.
The thing is, you're basically going to buy a console that you have no guarantee that the producer of content will actually use 4K.
Yeah, they're practically making like 2 separate games in 2 different qualities of the same game. It is kind of dumb to go about it that way.
Costly. It is.
I mean, if they were to... Oh, I'm sorry, boss.
I thought they said the game will be able to play on both consoles.
It will be able to, but the 4K one,
you paid more
the
money.
PlayStation 4 one would be technically inferior because the other one can do 4K.
But 4K won't be.
It's a slightly better system than the PlayStation 4 that's out now.
But there's no 4K games.
Yeah. Right.
So it's kind of.
I didn't hear that, but Shadow said that you may have to get a 4K TV too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to have a pairing.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, 4K TVs are freaking expensive.
They're actually kind of they're getting lower down in price, but they are still pretty pricey.
I mean, Sony may approach it like, hey, you can get a 4K TV and a PlayStation 4K.
They're not going to do
You know,
that.
bundle it together. But you have,
$2,000.
I don't know.
The thing, I think that what they want to do is they want to secure the fact that they have the lowest price VR system available on the market.
I'm just lucky to get like a smart TV.
Well, the thing is though that you're not going to need a TV for the VR, but the fact that they want to actually have the built-in capability going forward. Which, you know what? I'll buy it when content is available.
Yeah.
If content isn't available, it's like buying a Ferrari and storing it in a garage halfway across the United States, but you can't drive it. But you know you can drive the Ferrari, but you can't drive it because you can't. It's not there. But
Right, you don't have it. Right.
Okay, you have a Ferrari, but you can't use the Ferrari.
Right.
It becomes a problem of developers, but this is basically a play probably for the VR users, and the fact that it's going to be basically built-in compatibility and going forward, and they don't have to spend a lot of money making a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
But there's a suspicion that it might go the same route as a 3D TV, which you get the 3D TVs now.
They're gone.
I'm just going to stick with getting the PlayStation 4. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, the best thing coming out of this is a drop in PlayStation 4 prices.
Yeah.
That is probably the best.
that is also true.
PlayStation 4.
So that is probably the best outcome.
Literally, for me, the only deal breaker for me is if the hard drive is bigger, because I will pay the extra amount just to get the 4K the higher definition, the better system. Technically, I heard that the hardware has a little bit more RAM than the one that I have now.
Thing is
it's a slight upgrade, but I'm willing to do it, especially if the hard drive is like 2 terabytes or 1.5 terabytes. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, the problem with the hard drive is it's modular, so you can just go buy a terabyte thing right now. I mean,
I know, but I would rather do the upgrade and get the better graphics and the better frame rate.
But the thing is, the graphics, you don't know if you're ever going to see the better graphics.
Well,
I mean, the console generation now is
you don't
just
have to do the 4K resolution. You could still keep the PlayStation 4K at 1080p.
Oh yeah,
I'm totally fine with that. I'm better. I'm okay with it being a better system than what I have now and a bigger hard drive. That's all I want, really.
Well, the thing is, you can solve it with $60 rather than probably $400 to $30. I mean, it goes down to an investment that you do not know the future returns. So you're making an investment that is for the future, but you don't know what the future investments or the prospect of it is.
Yeah.
So it could be a gold mine, or it can be a complete disaster. But you don't know. You need the problem we have is there's many variables, and the producers have to get along with it. The TVs have to come down in price. The TVs have to be readily available, and the fact that PlayStation first has to get this into a console-shaped box, because we're already having trouble with very, very, very powerful.
Right. Definitely. I'm definitely proceeding with caution, but I'm just saying, like, the better system and the better hard drive is the deal breaker for me, and I got to see if it works too. That's another thing, definitely.
I guess I would just say wait and see.
Wait and see is the best course of action.
Now, if you're going to be big into VR, keep it on there. Now, buyer beware. If you buy the PlayStation,
I've never experienced VR, so
they're saying that the hard drive and the name is the same that it is in the original PlayStation.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's all modular, man. So you can just go buy a terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, that's like the best course of action.
I don't feel like doing that though.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, 500 gigs is enough for me. Like, I don't download games.
I have no more memory though.
I had to delete another game for me to install Uncharted 4.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
See, the thing is, it goes down to the fact that I'll give me $430, and I'll give you my PlayStation with a bigger hard drive, and I'll take your money because that's what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're basically getting somewhat. There's no difference. Now, you want the built-in compatibility, but if the compatibility is never used, it's like driving a Ferrari at 60 miles per hour on the speed limit. I mean, it's and I think if you wait maybe a year after it comes out. It'll be a better price, more competitive, and who knows if Microsoft gets into it, then we'll see some amazing things. But without any competition, it's basically a don't touch until wait and see. kind of let's open the birthday presents and the Christmas presents on Christmas and on your birthday rather than taking.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you guys for checking out Toonami Squad Podcast Sessions, Episode 4. We really appreciate you coming out and checking this episode out. I am Eric Casey, also known as eRockstar5 on Twitter.
I am JMB A.K.A. The Boss. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at JMB_70056.
Sam, you can follow me on Twitter at SZUniverse, and I just write stuff for Toonami Squad.
And then I'm Trips, handle Toonami Artist. I make art for Toonami Squad. Follow me if you want to. Otherwise, have a great day.
Yeah, so I'm Phantom at PhantomStar64. I write stuff and edit stuff. Still working on Ritual Effect Toonami. I'm looking into releasing it in summer 2016 if you didn't pay attention to the article I updated recently.
I did not see that.
I'll really try to release it on a certain day that makes sense to Toonami history. And yeah, so follow up. So we have a Facebook, facebook.com/Toonami Squad Official. We have a Twitch account, twitch.tv/Toonami Squad Gaming. Follow us on Twitter at Toonami Squad. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
And
I guess.
we have more stuff that we have stuff coming in the pipeline soon.
Yes, we have a pretty decent amount of stuff to go through.
And I promise you, Retro Effect Toonami will be out. I promise.
And the YouTube channel, Toonami Squad.
And youtube.com/Toonami Squad.
And this is going up on the podcast channel.
Yeah, the podcast channel too. Toonami Squad Sessions Podcast. YouTube.
Alright,
Right?
I think that's about it.
I think that's it.
All right.
Peace.
All right. Well, that concludes episode 4 of the Toonami Squad Podcast Sessions. We hope you enjoyed it. We can't wait to see you next time. So we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.
Squad out!